Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to Emergency Management Associates, coming to you from the Area Command 392 miles west of Kitty Hawk Beach, North Carolina. Let's get on with this show tonight. We're going to dispense with the opening remarks from our Army Barbershop Quartet tonight, probably only tonight for the time being. I have a breaking news story. This is a live camera view from Iceland. I want to open with this story because we've talked about Iceland for a very long time now, since November 7th, when they had huge earthquakes in Grindavik. This area here has now exploded. An eruption has taken place north of Grindavik, near Fagradalsfjall. The eruption has briefly returned to an active state with another round of eruptions. The eruptions first started in 2022 and early 2023. The lava flows ceased for a little while, restoring a sense of tranquility to a once fiery landscape. A volcano has just erupted north of Grindavik. A volcano in southwest Iceland erupted tonight, Monday, following weeks of intense earthquake activity. The country's meteorological office MET said, fearing a significant outbreak on Reykjanes Peninsula. Authorities had, I'm going to repeat, authorities had evacuated nearly 4,000 inhabitants in the fishing town of Grindavik. And just north of there, near the Blue Lagoon, they had closed the nearby Blue Lagoon geothermal spa. Thursday, this past week, they reopened Blue Lagoon. Warning, 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 warning. The eruption has started north of Grindavik by Hagafjell. The Met Office on its website came out and put out this video that we're showing you right now. It's in Icelandic, so you're not going to understand it. They're interviewing a scientist there near Grindavik. Images and live streams by the local news outlet RUV, which we're showing you right now, showed lava spewing from the fissures on the ground. You can see it here in this video feed right now from Grindavik. You can see the lava spewing out of the ground. Great big huge fountains have been coming out of the ground tonight. It's a beautiful sight from a distance, but this area here, the fissures have now opened up, and it appears to be miles long, kilometers long. A Coast Guard helicopter will be on its way shortly to confirm the exact location and the size of the eruption, according to the Met Office. We spoke to them just minutes ago. Reykjavik International Airport, which is located nearby, has remained open. The situation on the ground is not that important at this point in time. If there was a huge eruption kilometers or miles up into the air, there would be a problem. But so far it appears that all we're getting over on the ground north and west of Grindavik is just fountaining going on. Fountaining going on, long fissures going on. Okay? At the moment, there are no disruptions to arrivals or departures at Reykjavik or Keflavik Airport. About 230 earthquakes were reported near the Reykjanes Peninsula overnight, as the police alert level remained in a danger level. One of Iceland's most popular tourist attractions had just barely reopened for the first time in more than a month, despite fears of a potential volcanic eruption. The Blue Lagoon, which is a geothermal spa that we have spoken about in previous programs, It is southwest of the capital of Reykjavik and north of Grindavik. It was closed on November 9th after the Reykjanes Peninsula was hit by a seismic swarm of more than 1,000 earthquakes in 24 hours. You can again see this line of fissures that is now opened up. Okay? When these earthquakes first started happening north of Grindavik at the Blue Lagoon, dozens of guests fled the resort in taxicabs, headed for the Reykjanes Peninsula and the Reykjavik Airport. Why can't I think of that? Reykjavik Airport. Reykjavik is the capital of Iceland. In the days that followed, all 3,800 people living in the nearby town of Grindavik were evacuated from their homes, leaving many homeless in limbo. Many people have been allowed to return to their homes between 7 a.m. and 9 p.m. each day, and some businesses have reopened. They still cannot stay overnight or walk around the town. They are waiting. We are also, along with them, waiting for an update this week to find out whether the evacuation rules will be lifted in time for Christmas. We do not know exactly whether this newest eruption will threaten the reopening of Grindavik. This eruption is miles away, miles to the north of Grindavik. One person who lives in Grindavik was recently reported threatened with arrest after breaking the rules to stay at home with his wife for several nights. The Icelandic Met Office, the Earthquake Office, Seismic Office, has said at the rate of deformation. The rate of deformation means the rising or the subsidence of the earth in the area. There has been an increase in uplift of the earth, meaning magma has pressed up to allow the volcanic magma to rise up, and now it has erupted. Okay? We're going to cut this off right now. I'm not going to totally turn it off. I'm going to put it in the background here. So in case they have any more information from ground zero over there in Iceland, that you guys can see it. But again, the deformation, meaning the uplift in the ground caused by magma beneath the ground, or the subsidence, meaning the magma leaving where it once was in magma chambers beneath Grindavik or around Grindavik, has subsided some. But again, north there in Hagersfjall, all of a sudden the magma rose up today. There has been a distinct uplift in the ground, and now we have an eruption just outside of Hagersfjall, Iceland today. We don't know whether that's going to pose a problem with the Blue Lagoon opening up, whether they're going to have to re-evacuate that area as well. We just don't know. The Met Office has said, though the rate of deformation has decreased in recent days near Svartsenga, where the power plant is, more data is needed. In the early morning hours of today, it was reported about 200 earthquakes near Grindavik. It's too early to say if magma accumulation at Svartsenga has stopped inflation. Okay? The magma over at Svartsenga, where the power plant is, it's unknown whether inflation has taken over. If there has been deflation or the ground level has stayed the same, they may not be so worried about the power plant. That power plant, as we have explained to you, provides not just power to the entire island of Iceland, but it provides hot water. Hot water. There is a geothermal plant there, where man has drilled into the upper magma chambers of the volcano to obtain steam and hot water from the volcano, from the magma chamber, and it is transferred over to the power plant, where great big huge turbines are turning to provide electricity and also hot water to the island. Okay? But it's too early to say whether that magma accumulation has stopped near the Svartsengi power plant. The rate of deformation, meaning the rise or fall of the ground, has decreased somewhat in recent days, but more data is needed to interpret the possible development of the activity there in southern Iceland. Blue Lagoon Management said earlier today, actually they said it yesterday about the opening today, despite persistent seismic activity and a police alert remaining at danger level, they made the decision, along with close collaboration with authorities, to reopen the spa. The resort's hotels and one of its restaurants, however, would remain closed until at least Thursday this week, when it's planned to reassess the situation. Excerpts from the USGS and from Norway have been brought into Iceland to assess and do a real-time analysis there in Iceland. Currently, there are no indications of magma until now here at this magma field here, this lava field. It's huge, as you can see. The Blue Lagoon has said that they are excited to welcome guests back to one of the wonders of the world. Visitors can arrive only by a particular bus service because of construction and deference works after the initial seismic activity. Helga Arnadottir said that she is the chief Blue Lagoon's executive in charge of sales and operations and services, said airlines and tourism industry representatives informed her that some tourists have been canceling their trips to Iceland because of the Blue Lagoon's closure. The sources we have talked to even today have said that their decisions are based on operations decisions coming from the Met Office. Okay? And right now, what is going on in Grindavik, they are believing they have a go-to advisement to reopen. According to this plan, they said they also have time to finish after a day of cleanup and preparation for reopening the Blue Lagoon today. Before the opening, employees underwent a large-scale safety drill to practice evacuating people from the area as fast as possible. Sony Pálsdóttir, who lives in Grindavik, is spending Christmas with her family in their summer cottage and does not expect to return home permanently, which is presently on a 50-centimeter slant. A centimeter is about a half of an inch. A centimeter is just about a half of an inch. Her home, is sitting on a 50-centimeter slant. Okay? That's quite high. That is in turn probably close to 15 or 18 inches slant. That's bad. Now, she said that life in Iceland is right now a lot of questions. Mostly the hardest part is not knowing. While her family has managed to find temporary accommodation, many people from Grindavik are struggling amid housing shortages, and some are angry that they are still not allowed to return to their homes, at least overnight. That is because scientists have determined that the volcano under Grindavik could erupt within literally 2 hours time period, and the authorities do not believe the 2-hour time period allowance for that volcanic eruption would give people the time to evacuate Grindavik. They have worried about that since the volcano at Mount St. Helens erupted back in 1980, because USGS had said that Mount St. Helens seismic activity had gone down and they thought it was safe for people to return. And just a short time after that, Mount St. Helens erupted and killed many people. So the people in Iceland have now taken a lesson from that, and they're not letting anybody return to Grindavik for very long. Today, Olafur Ludvigsson, who is the police chief in Sornes, said the force was waiting for the updated risk assessment from the Norwegian Meteorological Agency and the USGS, which is due out on Wednesday this week, to decide whether to lift the evacuation orders in Grindavik. Because of the newfound information that we have for you tonight, it is unknown whether that is going to happen at all now. That is going to also depend on how close this lava field is to Grindavik. It was previously, the authorities previously expressed uncertainty as to when and where an eruption may occur during a decline in the number and severity of earthquakes. Now we have another eruption. Now, this severity of earthquakes around a vertical dike of magma that is pushed up through a weak point in the Earth's crust, estimated to be about 9.3 miles long. As you can see, that lava eruption that is erupted just north of Grindavik could be up to 9.3 miles long. Like I said, there was a magma dike that was 9.3 miles long. That may have erupted tonight. The intrusion is thought to be connected and being fed by another horizontal reservoir of magma, around 6 miles in diameter. Think of the Yellowstone magma chamber that is 11 Grand Canyons in size. This is only 6 miles in diameter. Okay? 10 kilometers in diameter. And it's been pushing the ground up by around a centimeter, nearly an inch a day, under Svartsenga, which is around the power plant. Okay? Does anybody have any questions about this? Kimberly Hopkins says she just got notice that we went on the air. I'm sorry it took so long. Carol Tyler is here. How about that? My wife came in here. That's awesome. Thank you, Carol, for being supportive of us and being here with all of you today. We appreciate that. Does anybody have any questions? Carol says, I'm usually here. I'm just one of the silent watchers. I appreciate that, Carol. God bless you, dear. We appreciate everybody here. Richard Smith says they're having heavy wind over there in northeastern Canada. I can appreciate that. We've had 50-mile-per-hour gusts here, where we live here. We've had rain yesterday all day long, literally. Today, the rain has slowed down and I believe has stopped now. But we're having very heavy, hot, or I shouldn't say hot, very cold winds and blustery weather right now. We have NCWQ Explorer Rebecca's here. Thank you, Rebecca, for being here. We appreciate you being here too. Anybody have any questions for us? I know this was kind of unexpected to have a volcanic eruption over here in Iceland, but we kind of expected it to happen. We kind of expected this to happen. It's kind of a hard thing realistically to look for, but we knew it was going to happen sooner or later. We knew this was going to happen sooner or later. Anybody have any questions? Okay, now I'm going to pull this video down. Well, they just went back to this, so I'll keep it up for a short while. I wish we could put the, in fact, let me check this. Let me check this and see if we have English now. This was strictly in Icelandic.
Hérna bara strax á fyrsta sólarhringi, en mér minnir að það hafi verið 50 rúmmetrar á sekúndu hérna svona þar í kring, þannig að hérna 100 til 200, það er miklu
They're
meira.
talking about the magma beneath the surface
Það
rising.
að sprungan sé 3,5 kilometri en ekki 2,8, hún að lengjast eða eru þetta bara nákvæmari mælingar?
Ég bara ekki alveg viss það.
Now they're talking
Við
about
verðum eiginlega að heyra í fólkinu
lava
sem
field
að
being
fljúga
opened
þarna
up to
og þau
300
geta örugglega
kilometers.
tekið punkta og mælt þetta betur.
Einmitt.
Svo það nú svo skrítið með þessi eldgos að það eiginlega best að skoða gervitunglamyndir til þess að meta þau, eða, já.
Og við getum örugglega ekkert á þessum tímapunkti sagt til það hvenær von á gervitunglamyndum. Eða hvað, þetta náttúrulega
Nei, það náttúrulega bara verið ferli næstu dagana og næstu vikurnar og kannski mánuði að nýta sér gervitunglamyndir til að fylgjast með þessu.
Illinois today. I think it was a 3.1
af því að við vorum að ræða við Sigríði Haglín sviða í augum
Can you clarify? Yes, I will clarify. It is confirmed. You did have a 3.1 magnitude earthquake. Okay. Tomorrow we'll talk more about those earthquakes all over
Já, við
the
vitum
new
það að þegar
matter
svona gos verða og þegar
are
það er þetta mikið að hreinu sem kemur upp, að þá kemur líka mikið gasi. Og það er brennisteinstvíildi sem kemur upp og er hættulegt.
Okay, they're still having the report in Icelandic, and I can only pick out words and phrases from the language because folks, frankly, the Icelandic language is similar to Norwegian, Danish, and Swedish. It's more similar to Norwegian and Danish than it is to Swedish, and that's why I can't pick out everything. But look at this eruption there in Iceland today. Huge fountains of lava are fountaining up, probably close to, I want to say 50 to 100 feet high in some cases here. And you can see the lava field growing larger here. You can see the lava fields growing larger, some are smaller. Rebecca said you could hardly hear me over the talking. Well, I've turned that talking off. Look at that huge flow of lava. Okay? Look at that huge lava flow coming out of that volcano there. And the lava is flowing down through the landscape now. So we may have a larger lava field than ever, depending on the amount of lava coming out of those fissures and through the volcano. You saw that volcano coming down there, a lava fall. Not a waterfall, but a lava fall. Tomas says, I've heard Icelanders are ethnically, mix of Norwegian and some Scottish. That's true. That's true. And I can understand Norwegian and Danish. That is so why those languages are so close. I can understand them and they can understand me when I'm talking to them. Our friend Al Sanchez is also here with us. They're presently showing this map. They're showing that lava field, okay, where that earthquake area has been. Okay, you can see it here. It's lengthy. Let's enlarge this a little bit so you can further see it here. We've shown you this map before. This is a huge lava field, guys. I'm not gonna argue with that. It's a huge lava field. We saw this same kind of lava field when the Figuretsfjall volcano erupted earlier this year. I should say re-erupted. Lorraine Blumgren is asking, does the volcano have any worldly effects? I don't necessarily think it has any worldly effects. Okay? Hurricane Heather says we're now being buffered. Well, doesn't surprise me. Unfortunately, this company here that we have our channel on doesn't like what we're talking about. Now, recently they said, the Icelandic people have said that they wanted to have an increase in tourism and that it was completely safe to go into Reykjavik. And I still believe that's the case. Reykjavik is further north and west and is away from this lava field. So I don't believe there's any huge risk at this point. There may be. We're waiting to have a briefing from this either later tonight or tomorrow about the risk here. They're going to put a helicopter up in the air since they're not having any huge eruption at this point in time. This is more like fountaining going on here as we've experienced on the Reykjanes Peninsula in the past. Enlightened Truth Seeker says frozen for you. It was frozen just for a short bit, just a few minutes ago. I saw that on my monitor here. It was frozen for just about a 30 seconds to 40 seconds, something like that. Lorraine Blumgren says it's massive, and you're right, it is. If this is truly 9.3 miles long, it's going to be massive. 9.3 miles long is like 15, 18 kilometers long. Demon Catman, am I right about those figures? Demon Catman lives over in England, and he has a pretty good handle on kilometers to mile ratio. I believe I'm right. Aubrey was working at her church. She just got here. No, you're fine. No, you're fine. We are showing you the activity over in Iceland. Just happened tonight, just north of Grindavik. Huge fountaining going on there. Here you're seeing the local police cordon off the area, so people cannot go up to the volcano, at least tonight. And yes, they have gotten some snow now. They had some storms move in, and the storms also played havoc with the seismic monitoring equipment, the seismographs. The storms played havoc with the seismographs because apparently the seismographs are exposed to the elements. In the United States and elsewhere, they try to shield the seismographs from exposure to the atmosphere. But here, I guess, the seismographs are exposed to the elements here. Richard Smith says 160 kilometers per hour is about 100 miles per hour. Yes, I'm aware of that too. I used to have a speedometer that had kilometers and miles on it. And yes, folks, please, if you will, if you enjoy what we're giving you tonight and you've enjoyed what we've been doing, please give us a thumbs up. That would be greatly appreciated. Bombard the thumbs up hugely in a big way. That would be greatly appreciated. YouTube uses the thumbs up indicator as an indicator whether they're going to let other people here on YouTube see this channel. So we appreciate all the thumbs up that you can give us. Now it shows us to have 61 thumbs up, which we greatly appreciate here. Yvonne Slicker is here. Thank you for being here, Yvonne. Ivan, I'm sorry. Ivan, we appreciate you being here. Al is asking us, can we please explain the various densities of lava? There are various densities depending on the kind of lava that is coming out of the volcano. I don't remember the kind of lava that's coming out of the volcano here in Iceland. Over in Washington and Oregon, they have like 3 different kinds of lava. And the density of lava would also say how much lava is coming out of the ground. But I don't remember the different kinds of lava coming out here in Iceland. I'm going to find out for you, I'll guarantee you that. That was a great question, Al. I appreciate that. Heather's saying it's 99.4 miles. 99.4 miles, yes. Elizabeth is asking, did y'all hear about the 3.1 magnitude earthquake in Illinois? Yes, we did. I'll be reporting more on that tomorrow. Any other questions here? This is huge. We just did not expect this. The information that we got from the scientists earlier today said that they were probably going to open up Grindavik after analysis that was going to be revealed to the public on Wednesday. Thursday at the latest. But with this present eruption, I doubt they're going to let anybody into Grindavik. NCWQ says basaltic lava. Pahol lava, known in Icelandic as Helluhraun. I'm sorry. Hellhuhraun. Helluhraun lava, basaltic lava. Thank you, Rebecca. I appreciate that. Rebecca says it forms smooth surfaces that are quite easy to cross. Most viscous lava flows known in Icelandic as a Palthron Palsarin. Aubrey is asking, is this the fissure? Yes, it is. This fissure is approximately 9.3 miles long from what we can gather so far. Okay, we have some more news here, and I will come back to this in a few minutes. Does anybody have any questions about this so far? Any questions? Okay, we'll come back to that in just a little while. I have some other things I want to cover here, and I also have a surprise guest I'm hoping to bring on the show in just a few minutes. So folks, if you'll just bear with me for just a minute, let's get on to some other news that we've been pulling together for you today. Something else that we've been talking about for some time now. China's had some earthquakes today. Quite a few of them, actually. Okay, let's pull up the USGS map here. Okay, the USGS is not showing hardly anything here. Okay, it's a joke. It's a joke. Over here in southeastern China, this is where a 5.9 earthquake hit. Okay, I'm going to enlarge this area here so you can see the full effect of what's going on here. China has multiple earthquakes here all around their country every day. Rarely do we ever see them on the map because USGS allegedly doesn't get to know what's going on because China does not tell us. Okay? But this earthquake happened late last night, just about 11 p.m. Eastern Time. This again was a 5.9 magnitude earthquake. It could have been a bit larger. It could have been a 6.0, 6.1, 6.2 earthquake, and quite honestly it probably was. But a 5.9 earthquake was huge here. Huge. We've had other large earthquakes or very large earthquakes in China before. But over here in southeastern China, this is huge. As you can see, USGS has 4 other they have 4 other aftershocks here, and that's a joke. That is literally a joke. Okay? Aftershocks after an earthquake like that are huge. They're literally huge. And for USGS to only show 4, that is so wrong. That is so cotton picking wrong, it's not funny. Okay? Let me show you something. Okay? USGS and the EMSC are showing the exact same thing here. They're showing the exact same thing. 4 aftershocks. Okay? That sized earthquake here, we should probably have close to 20 or 30 aftershocks. And for them to only be showing 4, something is very, very wrong. Either the agencies can't get the information or China refuses to talk about it. Now, I kind of believe that the agency doesn't want to give it to us. They may have the information, but they don't want to give it to us. This is a large, very large 5.9 magnitude earthquake. 5.0 to 5.9 are large earthquakes. 5.5 to 5.9 are considered to be very large earthquakes. 6.0 to 6.9 are considered to be very strong earthquakes. 7.0 and larger are considered to be major earthquakes. Major earthquakes. This is considered, according to the agency, just a very large earthquake. I'll have more information about this tomorrow night. North of there, this is over in Russia, southern Russia. This is a moderate 4.1 earthquake. Only, okay, I'm going to say only, I have to laugh, okay? 10 kilometers deep, 6.2 miles deep. Before, folks, rarely did we ever see earthquakes held at 6.2 miles or 10 kilometers deep. Usually they were a lot deeper than that. This 5.9 earthquake, 6.2 miles deep. A very shallow earthquake. Is it 6.2 miles deep? Or is the agency just throwing that number out? Just because they can. That's been the case in the past. It might be the case here. I'm just saying. Okay? Rebecca's saying 60 or 76 thumbs up. Please, guys, hit the thumbs up. I would ask that as well. Thank you so much. Okay? We appreciate it. I just had to refresh mine because apparently US or the YouTube is not going to keep up with the true information. They rarely do. Just so you know. Okay? And I've been fighting this for a very long time now. USGS is showing 94 people watching right now. That's very interesting, because after this video is done, they have been only showing as many as 6 or 7 people watching this program. They have not been telling the truth. That is typical of this company. They don't like people knowing the truth, because then they'd have to say, well, we have to show this program to other people on YouTube. They don't want to acknowledge what we're showing you. They don't want the world knowing exactly what's going on, which is a sad state of affairs here on YouTube. When I joined here, I actually thought that YouTube might be a good organization, but they have very little good to talk about. Going further down here to the south, over here to northeastern India, okay? This is over in the Himalaya Mountains, okay? We have another large earthquake here. This is a 5.1 large earthquake, okay? 26 kilometers south-southwest of Padam, India, in the Himalaya Mountains. That earthquake here was 10 kilometers deep, 6.2 miles deep. Okay? It's almost getting to be a joke now. This earthquake here to the south of there, this is a 4.8 moderate earthquake. Okay? 10 kilometers deep. Okay? It's incredible. It's incredible. You know, anymore, I can't even trust what they give us. We can't even trust what they're giving us. Not every earthquake is going to be 6.2 miles deep, and that's what they're making it sound like. This earthquake here, 4.3 over here in Pakistan, southeastern Pakistan. This is a 4.3. Also 10 kilometers deep, 6.2 miles deep. We go north here. This one is in Afghanistan, a 4.1. In this case, guess what? They may be telling the truth here. They have this one as 159.4 miles deep. Interesting. Interesting. They still do not show earthquakes over here in Iran or Iraq. Still not showing them. None over around the Caspian Sea. They're still not showing any earthquakes at all over in the Syrian Eastern Turkey border area. Nothing. That's a joke. That's really a joke. There are earthquakes going on here. They're just not showing them. It's sad. We had a 9.0, 10.0 magnitude earthquake here just earlier this year. And yet, the agency does not want to admit to what's going on. They don't like to show what's happening. Okay? Let me show you what the EMSC says. Okay? Look at this. They're at least showing 4 earthquakes in that same area. Okay? They're showing 1 earthquake over here in the Turkey-Iran border region. It's a 3.7. That's a 3.7. Over here in the area where that 9.0, 10.0 earthquake hit, we have a 3.5 there. Then going south, a 2.0, a 2.1, a 2.4, a 2.0, and another 2.0. They're showing nothing but 2s except for that 3.7 to the north. Okay? We have a total of, Well, let's see, there's 4 earthquakes down here to the south. 4 earthquakes right there. 2.7 and 2, excuse me, 2.7 and 3 2.0s. Then upwards on that same fault line, a 2.1. North and west of there, Sivas, Turkey, we have a 2.0. And then the furthest one north here, we have a 4.0 and a 3.5. A 4.0 and a 3.5 there. Okay? It's incredible what they show here. Okay? Over in north central Turkey, we have a 2.1. In the Mediterranean, south of the Turkish border, eastern Mediterranean, we have a 2.5. Now, over in Greece, they're not reporting any earthquakes here in Greece, are they? Well, at least Europeans are. This is a 2.1. A 2.1 just south of Patras. South of Patras there. Italy, Sicily area, nothing. Romania, Czechoslovakia, Croatia, nowhere. No other earthquakes at all. None in Germany, Switzerland, or France. Nothing. But south of Spain, we're showing a few earthquakes here. These are east of Gibraltar. They're also on the earthquake fault here. This earthquake fault in the western Mediterranean. Okay? And it's just east of Gibraltar. 2.1, 2.2, and another 2.2. 2.1 to the right of this earthquake, and a 2.2 to the left of it. Okay? It's over in that fault line region, south of Spain and east of Gibraltar right here. Okay? It's right here out in the ocean area of the western Mediterranean right here. Richard Smith says, a lot of shaking, rattling, rolling. You're right. It's incredible. It really is. Rob's going to bed. Rob, I hope you have a good night, my friend. God bless you. We appreciate you being here. Maybe it's EMF is going to bed. Maybe Rob's going to stay and EMF is going to bed. No, I think he said not I think he meant EMA, not EMF. God bless you, Rob. We appreciate you, brother. Rob's been one of our good friends for a very, very long time. He's one of our mods here. He's a very, very dear friend of ours. Now, you see nothing outside of Portugal here. Portugal is a strip of land on the west side of Spain here. You don't see anything, do you? Well, guess what? Let me show you something. A 2.4 off of central Portugal. A 2.4 magnitude earthquake, a mid-range 4. Yeah, Demon Catman says autocorrupt got him. You're probably right. Yeah, you're probably right. Then south of Portugal. This is Golfo de Cadiz, and this is in the islands here. This is a 2.0 in the Azores Islands here. NCWQ is saying, Ron, did you see the EMSC hiding earthquakes in Iceland? There was a 3.5 there today. Yes, I saw that. They are hiding information, but that is typical. I believe they have a relationship with the USGS, and I believe they're hiding all kinds of information. Okay, the earthquake out here. This again is in the mid-Atlantic. The mid-Atlantic. This is a 5.0 earthquake here, south of Iceland on the mid-Atlantic. The interesting thing is here, let's pull further south. Go all the way down here into the southern Atlantic Ocean. This is another 5.0 earthquake here in the South Sandwich Islands. Every time we get a large 5.0 or larger earthquake here, it ends up coming up here through the mid-Atlantic, through the southern mid-Atlantic. And we've seen this happen time and time again. Just like today, we have a 5.0 earthquake over here in the South Sandwich Islands. That earthquake will make its way up here through the South Mid-Atlantic, and it will work its way up here to the North Atlantic as this earthquake here has today. Again, we had a 3.5, and I believe, Rebecca, we also had a 4.5 here in Iceland today. And I believe that earthquake was just north of Grindavik, where this magma field, or actually not magma, but lava. Lava is when it's above the ground, magma is when it's beneath. But now we have a lava field over here. Okay, let's bring this in here so you can see what's going on here. This is the Reykjanes Peninsula. The Reykjanes Peninsula. Over here, okay, let's show you Grindavik, so you kind of get a good idea of where this is. This is the town of Grindavik that we've been talking about. Okay, they evacuated this town of about 4,000 people. 3,800, I think, 3,888, 3,878, something like that. 4,000 people here in Grindavik. They've evacuated this town now. Where this field is over here, right in this area here. Huge eruption here tonight. Huge eruption here. This is where most of the earthquakes have been hitting. Yes, they did have some earthquakes today over here near Grindavik. Most of the earthquakes that have hit today and for the past, I want to say 2 weeks, have mostly been in this area north of Grindavik. And I believe that's why we have this lava field, this eruption opened up today. Okay, this is where it's opened up. Just to give you an idea. Just to give you an idea, guys, the Blue Lagoon is right over here. And USGS is not going to allow me to zoom in any closer than this. Let's see if this other, yes, they are. They're going to let us see this. Okay? I want to show you this because this is really telling of what the U.S. agency won't let us see. This is the European agency that's feeding us this information. We have several earthquakes just off the southern tip of the Reykjanes Peninsula here. We have another earthquake over in the Pacific, northern Pacific over here, off the coast of Helsinger, Iceland. This one's a 2.1 here. A 2.1. But folks, guess what? Over here on the Reykjanes Peninsula, look where we've had the earthquakes today. Okay, 20 plus earthquakes in this area. 20 plus earthquakes today. And they want to tell us, oh, you can trust us. Look at that. Look at the line of earthquakes. If I'm not mistaken, I will bet you dimes to donuts that we probably have that huge fissure that's opened up right along that area where those earthquakes hit. I'll almost bet you. Okay? These are north of Grindavik, as you can see. You can see where Grindavik is there. These earthquakes are quite a bit north. On the south end, a 3.8, 2.5, a 2.7 over here near the Blue Lagoon. A 2.7 near the Blue Lagoon. Now let's go east from there. And I'm going to start here on the southern end of where these earthquakes hit. Okay, that is a 2.5. We go north, a 2.9, 2.3. Let me go back to that 2.9 real quick. There's a 2.9, 3.0 right there. Then a 2.3. Next, we have a 2.2. There's a 2.2 here. We go further north, a 2.3, 2.5, 2.7, 2.0, 2.1, 2.2, 2.0, 4.2. There's a 4.2 right there. We go north from there. A 2.6, a 2.0. The furthest north earthquake we have is a 2.4. A 2.4 near Fagradesfjall. Fagradesfjall, I should say. I know I'm butchering it. I know that. Then a 2.0 a little bit off to the east of there. Right there. Okay, but like I said, I will bet you that this line of earthquakes here is where the fissure opened up. I will almost bet on that. Almost bet on that. The Blue Lagoon, folks, now I'm trying to do something here so I can give you a good idea, or kind of give an idea to what we're looking at here. Okay? So look at this. Down here to the south, way down here to the south here, this is Grindavik. Further north, okay, we go all the way up here. This is where Svartsengi is. This is where the Svartsengi power plant is. Right there. Further north here is where the Blue Lagoon is. This is where the Blue Lagoon spa is. So this is just north and west of where all these earthquakes are. The Blue Lagoon is just north and west of where all of these eruptions are tonight. Okay? Just to give you a good idea of what's happening here. Okay? Okay. I think we pretty much covered what's going on the Reykjanes Peninsula in Iceland. Does anybody have any questions? Anybody have any questions about what's going on here? Okay? Just for kicks and giggles, let's go back here to the report directly from Iceland here. Okay, again, they're showing the eruption here. This is a live eruption from Iceland. That's just wild. That literally just wild. This is not what we expected to report just 3 or 4 hours ago.
Hnúkageirauninni fyrir 2000 árum síðan. Þannig að þetta auðvitað mjög langt síðan eitthvað gerist þarna síðast en samt þessi veikleiki þarna til staðar. Þannig að þessi kerfi þau svona gera þetta.
Fantasy Dog is asking, do you think it will get worse? I don't know. I don't know. The last time we had an eruption, which is far south from here, I would almost say 50 or 60 miles south of here, where the last volcanic eruption was, it was just like this. It was smaller, but it was just like this. Fissures, fountaining going off, but nothing else. Fountaining going off, lava going out over a wide field. And that's what we see going on here. Lava leaving the fissures, and they actually, I believe, have a volcano over here, a huge cone we saw earlier. But that lava coming out of that cone, flooding the landscape. And it looks to be a big deal, a large eruption. It's not going high into the sky as we've seen volcanoes around the world do. The volcanoes here in Iceland, except for one, the one volcano that's off to the east is huge. When that last erupted about, I think, 70 years ago, it stopped air traffic all over Europe because the ash went far up into the sky, miles into the sky. And the ash covered a wide variety of all over Europe, which prevented planes from flying into or out of Europe. It completely stopped air traffic for months. I don't believe this is what's going to happen here. The fountaining is not high enough, and I don't believe it's putting out enough ash to really cause problems. Aubrey's asking, are the winds blowing those toxic fumes to populated areas? I don't know what direction the winds are going in presently in that area. The winds or breezes could be blowing the SO2, which is the sulfur dioxide, and CO2, carbon dioxide, into areas, even over into Grindavik. Now this is further north from Grindavik. But knowing the wind patterns in that area, it could be going east and west and may not even get anywhere near Grindavik. We don't know. We will be getting more information later tonight and early tomorrow morning out of Iceland. I have not talked to any scientists tonight. I talked to them earlier today. Linda Covington is here. Thank you, Linda, for being here. We appreciate it. Any other information or questions that you want me to answer about Iceland tonight? Heather says that she is new when it comes to volcanoes. We've been covering volcanoes for quite some time. Heather has actually been part of our weather that we've covered here on the EMA network. Heather is our weather person, and we greatly appreciate her bringing that information to us. Rebecca and I have mostly been doing earthquakes and volcanoes. That's what Rebecca and I have been doing for quite some time. Richard Smith says near Round Hill, Nova Scotia, 5 kilometers deep, 2.2 earthquake. As you can see, they have snow on the ground over here, and I believe this is from Grindavik. Okay, this is southwest from where those volcanoes are, from where the lava is. Okay, let's leave this again for a little while. I have more information here to talk to you about. Okay, again, we talked to you about China and the 5.9 and the other earthquakes that happened here. We've talked to you about Iceland tonight. A big deal, a huge deal there in Iceland. It's not going to be over. Now, something else that I want to bring to your attention. Here in the United States, over in Virginia, we have a huge cemetery. It's called Arlington National Cemetery. And in that cemetery, we have a bunch of left-wing people trying to take down a Confederate statue. The problem with taking down this Confederate statue, the Confederate statue is on top of a grave. An unmarked grave, unknown soldier from the Confederate War. Okay? The left-wing organization has been trying for a very long time to take down all Confederate statues throughout the South. Virginia still is part of the South. Today, a federal court judge issued a temporary restraining order barring removal of this memorial to the Confederate soldiers in Arlington National Cemetery. The group called Defend Arlington, affiliated with a group called Save Southern Heritage Florida, filed a lawsuit yesterday in federal court in Alexandria, Virginia, seeking a restraining order. A hearing has been scheduled for Wednesday this week. Work to remove the memorial had begun this morning before the restraining order was issued, but the memorial remains in place on cemetery grounds. A cemetery spokesman said today that Arlington was complying with the restraining order, but referred all questions to the Justice Department. The cemetery had said on Friday this past week that it expected to complete the removal of this statue this week by Thursday. It said the removal was required by Congress, meaning Congress had okayed this Confederate statue removal. I can't believe Congress would have done this. Okay? It said it was complying with environmental and historic preservation regulations. What does this statue have anything to do with environmental regulations? Hurricane Heather said they need to leave it alone, and I completely agreed. The lawsuit accused the Army, which runs a cemetery, of violating regulations in seeking the hasty removal of this memorial. The removal will desecrate, damage, and likely destroy the memorial long standing at Arlington National Cemetery as a grave marker and impede the memorial's eligibility for listing on the National Register of Historic Places. This monument right now is on the Registry of Important Historical Locations, and the left-wing government is trying to remove all Confederate statues or anything to do with the War of 1812. They don't want anything left. Nothing to remind them of the war between the states. Nothing. These left-wing people, the politicians, have to be stopped. So folks, I would urge you to write to the Defense Department, write to the Justice Department, and have them stop what's going on. These statues throughout the United States must be left alone. I understand many of them have been taken down already, but they can also be put back up. You can also contact former President Trump and tell him about it and relay to him your concerns. We need to write to our congressmen and senators and tell them to stop this falderall and stop the removal of our history, because that's exactly what they're doing. They're trying to stop people from knowing about our history. Okay? What is going on? They're trying to erase our history so our children and grandchildren will not know about it. When you remove history, that also tells us that they want to make the same mistakes twice. If we remember where we've come from, we're not going to worry about our going forward. But when these statues and other things are erased from our history books and from our country, that tells us that the left-wing establishment is alive and well. They need to be stopped. They need to be stopped permanently. Now, I'm not talking inflicting pain or anything else. They need to have their actions stopped. This started with Barack Obama, who said he was going to transform America. And he started that in 2009 and has continued it. He needs to be stopped. I personally believe Barack Obama came here as his third term. That Joe Biden is his puppet. And Barack Obama is actually who is in charge of what's going on. He needs to be stopped permanently. He needs to go to jail. That's my honest belief. He needs to go to jail. NCWQ Explorer says, stop the ship, I want off. I won't stop. I won't stop because I believe we must keep on going. We must do what we can to stop what's happening. I believe that. I completely, honestly believe that. We need to stop what's going on, and the only way we can do it is to continue forward. Continue forward. Now, I wanted to show you something else, and unfortunately, I didn't put this up tonight. But I'm going to continue on with what I'm going to say anyway. Earlier today on a thread on our Messenger, Facebook Messenger, I found this. It's called the American Creed. I wanted to show you this tonight. I do not choose to be a common man. It is my right to be uncommon. I seek opportunity to develop whatever talents that God gave me, not security. I do not wish to be kept citizen, humbled, and dulled by having the state look after me. I want to take the calculated risk to dream and to build, to fall and to succeed. I refuse to barter. I refuse to barter incentive for a date. I prefer the challenges of life to the guaranteed existence. The thrill of fulfillment to the state of calm of utopia. I will not trade freedom for beneficence, nor my dignity for a handout. I will never cower before any earthly master, nor will I bend to any threat. It is my heritage to stand alert and erect, proud and unafraid to think and act, and to face the world boldly, and to say, this with God's help I have done. All of this is what it means to be an American. This is what I believe. This is what I know. Okay? I wanted to share that with you because it's truly what I believe and what I know. Now, folks, if you just stand by with me for a minute, I'm going to see if we can bring up my guest here with us. I was hoping he'd be live on the air himself and we'd just be able to bring him in here. But I'm going to call him and bring him in here with us nonetheless. This man has been a, what shall I say, a figure on YouTube for a lot of years. Nearly 5 years he's been here on YouTube. He's done a great job. He's brought us a lot of pain, or not, he's brought us a lot of peace and a lot of thankfulness. Kimberly Hopkins just gave us another $5 super chat. Kimberly, thank you so much. I just saw that NCWQ and Demon Catman were giving Fantasy Dog our PayPal locations. We really appreciate that. You can still donate to our PayPal and also to our Venmo. You can also donate to our mail. You can send us donations to our mail. P.O. Box 422, Valdese, North Carolina. Valdese, North Carolina. Zip code is 28690. P.O. Box 422, Valdese, North Carolina. Zip code is 28690. Our mods here put up our PayPal and I believe our Venmo addresses. You can donate to those. We really appreciate it. Let me bring up our guest tonight. Heather says, we love to get mail. I sure do. Yes, we'd love to get mail. And I'll show you some mail before the end of the show. Hey brother, this is Ron. Just want to touch base with you. I was hoping to bring you on the air. I don't see you on the air right now on your show, but I was hoping to bring you on the air and bring you up on our show to let you talk to all of our people here. We'd really appreciate knowing that you're here with us. Give us a call back, 619-755-3736. See you later. Bye. Our guest, I'm hoping to bring on Mark Pires. Mark Pires has a long-running variety show, a daily variety show here on YouTube. He's now had his 813th program as of last night. 1,813 programs. He's been on the air every day for nearly 4.5 years. Actually, it's longer than that. In June this coming year, he will have had 5 years straight, every day 5 years straight of being on the air. I talked to him earlier, approximately 2.5 hours ago, and he said he would love to come on the air, and I'm hoping he'll call us back. Mark Pires is a very dear friend of ours. He's a friend of our programs. He's been here on the air before, and he was on the air a couple years ago. So we hope we can bring Mark Pires here on the air again with us. Right now it says we have 95 people watching. Started streaming 82 minutes ago, 1 hour and 32 minutes ago. Well, 22 minutes ago. But like I said, I was hoping to have Mark Pires on again tonight. Carol Bonnell says an early Merry Christmas to y'all. Thank you, Carol. We appreciate that as well. Thank you so much. Merry Christmas to everyone. You notice the picture that I put as the main picture to our program tonight. That will be the main picture on our program unless something major happens, and then we will come on the air and we'll have a picture depicting what's going on. But we appreciate all of you. We appreciate all of your donations to our program and donations to us personally. And speaking of which, okay, I want to show you something. Last week we showed you Juanito and his wife's donation to our pups. Okay, Juanito lives down in El Centro, California. He sent us these 2 toys for our kids, squeaky toys. Our dogs are going to love it. Our dogs are going to love it. Now, she also sent us this lady here. This is not Juanito and his wife. This is Sister Gabriella in Hilo, Hawaii. Sent us some insulated travel bags, okay, that you can put food in to keep it hot or cold. And as you can see, these are Hawaiian. Beautiful travel bags that Sister Gabriella has sent us. She's actually been on our chat in previous programs. I believe she's out working right now. Something else that she sent us in one of these travel bags. She sent us sand off the beaches there in Hilo. Sent us containers of sand from the beaches in Hilo. That was cool. That was really cool. One of the other bags was sent especially to my wife, Carol. Carol, if you're still on the air, okay? Again, this is another travel bag. Look at that detail. One of Sister Gabriella's friends makes these. That's cool. And she made my wife literally a handbag. She made my wife a handbag. Look at that. Isn't that cool? She made this, her friend made this handbag with these large straps that you gals really like, and Carol loves. Carol loves that. Okay? Also, she sent Carol this. Okay? This is some scrub that you ladies like. So she sent Carol these wonderful treasures, and Carol just went crazy. Carol loved it. Carol loved it. Then she sent me also one of these other thermal carriers, Hawaiian carrier bags here. Just beautiful. And she sent me another set of scriptures. Now the interesting thing about this set of scriptures is this. The scriptures here that you're seeing here is a literal translation from the Tanakh and the Messianic writings. The deific name Tetragrammaton Yahweh appears in Hebrew characters throughout the translation of the Tanakh, the Torah, Nevi'im, and Kethium, and the Messianic writings. The name by which the Messiah was known, Yeshua, is restored in Hebrew, as well as it appears in the text as such. The books in the Tanakh are arranged according to the original order of the Hebrew scriptures: the Torah, the prophets, and the writings. Yes, Aubrey, that's what it is. The original Hebrew personal names of people and places are restored throughout the scriptures, such as, well, I can't even pronounce what it is. It's the name for Jeremiah, and Yeshuahu for Isaiah, and Mosa for Moses in the Messianic writings, and the name for Matthew here, Mattiyahu, I think it is. The book of names are displayed in both traditional and transliterated Hebrew throughout the headings, making the conversion here easy for the reader. Words and names with idolatrous origins have been eliminated as far as possible. The traditional rendering of the word law has been restored with Torah throughout the translation, retaining the richness and full meaning of this word in the Hebrew language. Other features in the scriptures include a complete Hebraic restoration of the text, as handy weights and measures table, illustrates timelines, and has colored maps. Text allusions in the Tanakh and the Messianic writings printed in bold with cross references. This is just one more Bible that I love. This is now the second Bible that you folks have sent me, and I really appreciate it. One of the things also this Bible has is easy indexes here, so I can pull up any book here that I want to be reading. It's really cool. Now, she also sent me a scripture here. Okay? It's in Leviticus. It's called the Leviticus Diet. Leviticus chapter 11, 1 through 47. And she's marked it here in the scriptures here. It's pretty cool. The Leviticus Diet. In the beginning of the scriptures here in the front cover, she also wrote me a personal note here about what this book is and why she sent it to me. And I greatly appreciate Sister Gabriella sending me this. I will forever cherish this also in my library of the scriptures here. As you know, I love the scriptures. I teach the scriptures. I teach the scriptures every Sunday. We keep getting new people that come in our Sunday school class. When I lost my last channel here on YouTube, I was getting anywhere from 190 to 350 people in our Sunday school class every Sunday. It's always been, come follow me. Come follow me is what the Savior said. And I live by that, as most of you know. but we had upwards of 350 people that were in our Sunday school class every Sunday. Yesterday's class was a little bit longer than I normally would have a Sunday school class go. My Sunday school classes are typically 1 hour, 60 minutes tops. Sometimes I've gone a few minutes more than that, but usually 60 minutes. Yesterday's class was a little bit different. Yesterday's class had to do with Revelations chapters 6 through 14. That's why the class was long. It was beautiful. We had a lot of people in the class. Folks, I want to tell you this. We had 181 people that were in our class yesterday. That is a new record for people that visit in our Sunday school class on a weekly basis. Typically, we have about 150, 152, 155 people in our Sunday school classes. 181 people that saw yesterday's class is wonderful, and I want you to know how much I appreciate it. That means a great deal to me. A huge deal. A huge deal. Let me call my special guest here and see if I can reach him again. But as you guys know, I love teaching Sunday school, and I will continue doing it until I can't any longer. I hope that will never happen. See if I can bring him up here. Well, darn. Well, I guess he's not going to call us back. I was hoping to bring him up on his own show today. Yes, I was really hoping he'd be on the air right now, because I was going to live stream or simulcast with him. Mark, like I said, is a very dear friend of mine, a friend of our program, and a lot of you enjoy listening to him. You can go over to Mark Pires. I have a link in our program description just below this program tonight. We have a link to one of his programs, and you can go over here to YouTube and find him, and he will be on the air tonight. Last night he did a Christmas concert, live music Christmas concert, and him playing the guitar singing Christmas songs. He will probably be doing that again tonight. I would urge all of you to go over to his show and say hi to him. Okay? Mark Pires is a great guy. He really is. I appreciate him a lot. I really do. He is a really cool guy. Does anybody have any questions about anything we've talked about tonight? Okay, here is the fire and the lava that's come out of the fissures.
Svæðið svona tiltölulega flatt, en þetta liggur samt þarna norðan vatnaskila og rennur þá í rauninni norður í í átt að Reykjanesbraut. Það þá næstu innviðir í rauninni.
Okay, they're still speaking Icelandic, but I want to show you this one more time. Aubrey says it's incredible, and I agree it is. It's totally incredible. Totally incredible. Linda Covington asking what is happening in the Philippines. Okay, that's a good question. Let's go over to the Philippines over here on the USGS map before we get out of here. And I'm not quite done with what I'm saying either. We're not quite done with this program yet. Okay, let's pull back here on this map. Okay, over here, we've had a good-sized earthquake again over here near Hihi-Fotonga, 93 kilometers east-southeast of Hihi-Fotonga. This is a large 5.0 earthquake in Tonga, in the Tonga region. Notice that it's just west of the huge, long Tongan Trench. Okay, you can see it here. 5.0 earthquake east-southeast of Hihi-Fotonga. Okay, we see a disappointing 2 earthquakes here in Indonesia. There's about 25 earthquakes here in Indonesia. Over here in the Philippines, okay, look what we have here. This is another disappointing representation of the earthquakes in the Philippines. This is northeast of Mindanao, Philippines, the southernmost large island in the southern Philippines. This is a 5.0 earthquake. 5.0 earthquake, 39 kilometers deep. Still a fairly shallow earthquake. Another disappointing earthquake. These people, this agency has no clue. They really have no clue. It's unfortunate that they believe that we're just going to sit back and accept that there's one earthquake after a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake happened over here off of Mindanao Island, Philippines. Folks, let me show you really quickly what is really going on in the Philippines. Look at this. Look at this. There's more than one earthquake. Like I said, 3 weeks ago we had a 9.0, 10.0 earthquake, and I proved it. I proved it. I showed the documentation to prove it. Now USGS shows one earthquake. Really? Really? How about 8 others? 8 other earthquakes in this area. Let me just point out what these magnitude of earthquakes are. 3.5, 3.8, 3.3, 3.3, 3.3, 3.6, and 4.0. 4.0. USGS has a 5.0 earthquake here. Okay? The EMSC doesn't even show that. The EMSC doesn't even show that. Further south, off the southeast coast of Mindanao, Philippines, a 3.0. Canadian Patriot 1 is here. Thank you, Dave, for being here. Now, south of Davao, the Gulf of Davao, Philippines, we have a 3.2. 3.2 there. Now, there's other earthquakes here as well. Moronga, Indonesia. There's a 3.7 here. 3.7 here in Baranga, Indonesia, just south of the Philippines. Okay? Now, I want to show you this. Look at all the other earthquakes here. In Indonesia. Indonesia. The USGS doesn't want to show them to us, do they? They have no intention of letting us see the information. Over here, Papua, Indonesia, of 4.4. Over here, off the north end of Sumatra, Philippines, or Sumatra, Indonesia, is a 4.5. 10.2 kilometers deep. Interesting, huh? Myanmar. Myanmar, 3.6. They're not showing that either. How about a 3.4 as well? They're not showing. They're not showing. Go figure. Rebecca's got to go to get her grandbaby ready for bed. We appreciate you, Rebecca, for being here. Catherine Sigerson said, did Ron have any flooding? No, he did not. I appreciate that, Catherine. No, we did not. Catherine is up in south central Canada. We didn't get any flooding here. Yes, we got rain. Some good heavy rain yesterday, but no flooding. Other areas in North Carolina got hit. The coastal areas, one coastal area of North Carolina even got a tornado. They also got a storm surge of about 6 feet high. Can you imagine a storm surge hitting your coastal areas of your countries? That's what happened here on the coastline of North Carolina yesterday. Ocean wash over the highways and roadways. Ocean wash. Incredible. The roadways got flooded. I even saw a video of a fire truck making its way through about 3 foot to 4 foot high water. Incredible. Rebecca says, we got so much rain here. She is living in Lafayette, which is south of here. She was praying the rain would stop. That's how much rain she got down there. The mountain areas, guess what? The mountain areas got a little bit of snow so far. Let me see if I have a picture of some of the snowfall. I'm not sure whether I put it in here or not. No, I didn't put it in here, but I will tomorrow. I'll show the little bit of snowfall at Beech Mountain. Beech Mountain here in North Carolina. They got a dusting of snow, and the roadways have some snow and ice. Did I say Lafayette? I'm sorry. Rebecca lives in Fayetteville, North Carolina. Fayetteville, North Carolina. Fantasy Dog says, when he tries to copy my links to our PayPal, it says it doesn't recognize them. Oh my gosh. That's happened once before too. I'm so sorry for that. I'm so sorry for that. Dadgummit. Darn it, darn it, darn it. Okay, just a second. Let me see what I can do about that myself. Hold on. Okay, just a second. Okay. Rebecca just posted one of our PayPal links. Appreciate that. There's our Venmo link as well. So you have that. Oh, that's weird. There's our Venmo one right there. Okay, you guys got it. You guys got it. Now, I have a couple more things I want to share with you before we get out of here. One of the things I wanted to talk about is this. Okay? Yes, I'm going to bring this up so you can see it. A stable, where horses usually are, or other animals, had something inside it that was bigger than our whole world. C.S. Lewis put this up. He wrote it. C.S. Lewis died, I believe it was 1953. C.S. Lewis wrote a lot of books. C.S. Lewis was also quite a bit of a Christian man. Okay? The stable once had something inside it that was bigger than the entire world. C.S. Lewis was right. Now, I wanted to post this as well. Jesus Christ, who spent the beginning of his days in a stable with his parents, wise men, and many other people, is a light that dispels fear. A light that dispels fear provides assurance and direction, and engenders enduring peace and joy. Jesus Christ was quite the man, wasn't he? He still is. Quite the man. Something else. Another statement in the scriptures from Luke chapter 2, verse 14. It's the beginning of a hymn. Glory to God on high, and on the earth, peace, goodwill toward men. Just another admonition from the scriptures. And that's not all. The Lord loves us. The Lord wants and expects the best from us. Here, from Jeffrey R. Holland, he says, tearing others down does not elevate your standing, nor does demeaning someone else improve your self-image. Be grateful that God is kind. It is a happy way to love. That's absolutely true. Christ provides the example for the love that we should have for our fellow men. We should not be haughty. We should not believe that we are better than anyone else. God is the only person who is better than us, and we should strive to be like God, our Heavenly Father, and Jesus Christ. Something else. Again, this is also a hymn from the Psalms. David wrote the Psalms. Psalms 28, verse 7. The Lord is my strength, my shield, my heart trusts in him, and he helps me. My heart leaps for joy, and with my song I praise him. I love the Psalms, brothers and sisters. I love the Psalms. Now, in the spirit of Christmas, to catch the real meaning of the spirit of Christmas, we need only drop the last syllable, and it becomes what? The Spirit of Christ. The Spirit of Christ. That is what this holiday, this season is all about. The Spirit of Christ in all of us. This is who we should be emulating. This is the person who loves us, all of us. To catch the real meaning of the spirit of Christmas, we need only drop the last syllable, and it becomes the Spirit of Christ. This is truly who we are trying to emulate, the Spirit of Christ in us. May that be our goal. May we try to emulate Christ in each one of us. As I said last Friday, I would love it if each one of us could do just that. And also not just that. In our gifts this season, we should give gifts of spiritual nature. We should also be giving gifts of preparedness, given the situation we all over the world are facing. We should be trying and thinking of gifts of preparation to help our family, our closest friends, and people we love get prepared for what is going on in our own lives. May God bless you. This is only 1 week away from Christmas Day. God bless you. God be with you this day. As you know, I love Christmas. I love the Savior. I would do anything for the Savior today. And when he comes home to the earth again, I will worship him as I do now. I love each and every one of you, brothers and sisters. I try to help each one of you today, and I do it always in my heart. God be with you until we meet again. Have a great night. If anything else happens, we will be back on the air to talk about it as soon as the information becomes available. If anything else happens over in Iceland, we'll be again coming on the air to tell you about it as soon as we get that information. Have a great night. Like I said, God be with you until we meet again. Good night, everybody. Much love.